Okay, hola amigos, hola amigas, welcome, bienvenido, croeso y salam, welcome to the channel, y'all, Chesh Shimash. Today we are back with another car from my past. This is the Mark I Ford Fiesta. This one is a left-hand drive. I couldn't get a right-hand one in this colour, and it's the Ford Fiesta from 1976. So this is the European model. There was also another model as well, came out for the US market, which had the same kind of back to it, but the front was slightly different, whereas the headlights were rounded. It looked more like a first generation. It looked a bit like a Polo at the front with the round headlights, but this is the UK version. So this car I didn't own, but when I was in college, a friend of mine who was in the same group as me, studying the same course in college, he turned 17 before me. He was one of the first ones in the group to actually pass his test, and he was given one of these Ford Fiestas. And well, we went everywhere in this Ford Fiesta. He would pick me up from college, and we would go out for runs at the weekend with other friends, for other college friends. We'd all pile in. It was a bit like the in-betweeners, but without the rudeness. But yeah, this was our sort of like in-betweeners car, and we had so much fun in this car with my mate Julian. And we even did have a bump once. We were going down a steeper hill. It was absolutely pouring with rain, and he applied the brakes and the car just went into a skid, and we bumped into a car that was parked. And that's all I can remember is the front, just one point of the front going plunk. So he had to get a new front for it, new bonnet and replacement grille and stuff like that. But it was back on the road in no time. So this car has lots of memories for me as a teenager. Going back and forth to college, and like I said, and going out with mates and stuff. Absolutely loved it. It was a little gem, hardly ever had any problem. It was really good with fuel, and lots of fond memories in this car. So let's take it out of the box. This also has that horrible screw at the bottom, which is like a triangular. So I've started it off before, so now I just need to finish off taking the screw out. I'm going to replace these with proper screws. Okay, so there we go. I have released it. I'm just going to get it on the display, and we will I'll talk a little bit about the history of the Mark I Ford Fiesta. The Ford Fiesta Mark I is the first generation of the Ford Fiesta Super Mini. Originally introduced in 1976, it was Ford Europe's first multinational front-wheel drive car, and was available in both three-door hatchback and panel van derivatives. In 1983, the Fiesta was updated and the Fiesta Mark II was introduced. It was manufactured by Ford Europe and was produced from June 1976 until August 1983. The model years from 1977 to 1980 were in North America. It was assembled in Spain, the United Kingdom, and 2 places in West Germany. It came in various different sized engines: the 900, the 1000, the 1.2 and the 1.5. The Fiesta was originally developed under the name Bobcat, not to be confused with the subsequent rebadged Mercury variant of the Ford Pinto, and approved for development by Henry Ford II in September 1972. Development targets indicated a production cost of $100 less than the current Escort. The car was to have a wheelbase longer than that of the Fiat 127, although shorter than some other rivals like the Peugeot 104, Renault 5 and the Volkswagen Polo, but with an overall length shorter than that of the Escort. The final proposal was developed by Tom Tejada at Gia. The project was approved for production in December 1973, with Ford's engineering centres in Cologne and Dunton collaborating. Ford estimated that 500,000 Fiestas a year would be produced and built in all new factory near Valencia, a transaxle factory near Bordeaux, Factory extensions for the assembly plants in Dagenham. Final assembly took place in Valencia. The name Fiesta belonged to General Motors when the car was designed, as they had used the name for the Oldsmobile Fiesta in the 1950s. However, it was freely given for Ford to use on their new Super Mini. Ford's marketing team had preferred the name Bravo, but Henry Ford II vetoed it in favour of the Fiesta name. The motoring press had begun speculating about the existence of the Bobcat since 1973, but it was not until December 1975 that Ford officially announced it as the Fiesta. A Fiesta was on display at the 24-hour Le Mans in June 1976 and a few rallies. Mechanically, the Fiesta adopted the now industry-standard mechanical layout pioneered by Fiat, with a transverse-mounted engine coupled to an end-on 4-speed manual transmission of the Ford BC series. With unequal-length drive shafts, the power unit would be new short-block version of the vulnerable Ford Kent OHV engine, dubbed Valencia. Developed especially to produce the new car, Ford's plants in Dagenham, England, and Cologne from 1979 in Germany also manufactured Fiestas. To cut costs and speed up the research and development, the new powertrain package destined for the Fiesta was tested in Fiat 127 development. The Fiesta is widely credited as being the Ford's first globally successful front-wheel drive model, and the first front-wheel drive Ford car to feature a transverse engine layout. The Fiesta was officially launched in the UK on February the 2nd, 1977, where it was available from £1,856 for the basic 950cc engine models. It was only the third hatchback Super Mini to have been built in the UK at this stage, being launched a year after the Vauxhall Chevette and the Reliant Kitten, but nearly a year before the launch of the Chrysler Sunbeam and 4 years before the Austin Metro. The millionth Fiesta was produced in 1979. The US Mark I Fiesta was built in Cologne, Germany, but to slightly different specifications. US models were base, deco, sport and gear, the gear having the highest level of trim. These trim levels changed very little in the Fiesta's 3-year run in the US from 1977 to 1980. All US models featured the more powerful 1.5 engine, which was the older cross-flow version of the Kent engine. Among the other changes required for the US market, the Fiesta was fitted with a catalytic converter and air pump to satisfy strict Californian emission regulations. Energy-absorbing bumpers, side marker lamps, round sealed beam headlamps, improved crash dynamics and fuel system integrity, as well as optional air conditioning. This was not available in the European market. At the beginning of the British government's Motability scheme for disabled motorists in 1978, the Fiesta was one of the key cars to be available on the scheme. A sporting derivative, the 1.3L Supersport, was offered in Europe for the 1980 model year using the 1.3-litre Kent Crossflow engine, effectively to test the market for the similar XR2 introduced a year later, which featured a 1.6-litre version of the same engine. Black plastic trim was added to the exterior and interior. Small square headlights were replaced with larger circular ones, resulting in the front indicators being moved to the bumper to accommodate the change. Minor revisions appeared across the range in the late 1981, with larger bumpers to meet crashworthiness regulations and other small improvements in a bid to maintain showroom appeal ahead of the forthcoming second generation. It was well received on most European markets, particularly in the UK, where it was the 9th best-selling car in its first year, and by 1981 it was the 3rd best-seller. However, in 1982 it was outsold by British Leyland's new Austin Metro, and with a host of new Super Minis launched across Europe between September 1982 and June 1983, Ford was keen to update the Fiesta in order to keep it competitive with its rivals. So there we go, guys. There's a little bit of history for you there on that Ford Fiesta Mark I. This car will hold so many memories for me, in the fact that it was my mate's first car, and we spent so much time going around visiting places and getting up to mischief and just having a lot of fun in this little blue Ford Fiesta. I hope you've enjoyed the video and the story behind it. and I will see you for the next episode for another car of my past. Bye.